So I met this guy. Let's call him Lindsay G, right? And he's telling me this story about how he was once attacked by a bear and barely survived, right? And he told me, he said, like, not only did I almost die this day, but it's also the day that I met my best friend. I was like, oh my God, it's got to be an amazing story. Would you mind sharing it? And he's like, oh yeah, let me tell you about it. So he says, so I was out walking in the forest one day, just enjoying nature, and there's no one around, just me and nature and my thoughts. And then I did come across these two guys, Joe and Don, and they were also out there hiking. And suddenly I'm confronted by this gigantic brown bear, right? And it just raises up on its hind legs and roars at me. And I am now just scared shitless, right? And I think this is the end for me. And then suddenly Joe runs over, starts waving his arms frantically and screaming at this bear, trying to scare it off, right? But Joe's kind of old, little feeble, right? And this bear just swipes at him and just knocks him aside like a rag doll. He just falls to the ground. And then the bear runs at me. And that's when it just swipes at me with its giant paw and just causes this huge scar, this gash across my shoulder and my chest. And then thankfully Joe had sort of recovered and had grabbed like a giant branch that he found on the forest floor there and started whacking the bear with it. And it startled the bear because the bear just ran off, right? And then, Joe helped bandage me up and stop the bleeding. And I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing story. So you and Joe are now best friends, huh? Oh, no, Lindsay says. He says, no, Don is my best friend. Like, wait, really? Why? What was Don doing all this? Well, Don was hiding behind a tree because, Don is smart. I mean, it's dumb to go confront a bear, and Don is not dumb. So he was hiding behind a tree, but afterwards he came up to me and he said something that really resonated with me. He said, if Joe had shot that bear would have never attacked me. And I asked Lindsay, I was like, wait a minute, did Joe have a gun this whole time? And he said, no, Joe didn't have a gun. But still, had he been prepared and had he brought a gun, he could have shot that bear, but he didn't. And that bear attacked me. And I now have this scar. And what's worse, Don was pointing out to me that now that bear is not only alive, but it's pissed. And so I can't hike in that forest anymore. And I used to love hiking in that forest, but I can't because that bear is out there. And that bear could attack me at any time. It could go for its revenge, And so I don't even get to go hiking in that forest anymore. But my friend Don, Don has a hunting party that he is paying to go out and hunt for this bear every day so that one day I can go hike safely in this forest again, And I send him a little bit of money every month to help fund this. But, that's what friends do, Friends look out for each other, What has Joe ever done for me?